Devil's Advocate. I'm Ben, I'm joined by Shawn.
Hello.
And we're going to do a little chat about Jeffery Epstein and Ghisele Maxwell.
Yeah.
Ghisele.
I don't know how you pronounce it.
We'll say Ghisele.
Yeah.
Either way, she's a bit of a bad un, and so is he.
A bit.
A lot.
Well, to be honest, I didn't even really know about these guys until recently. I obviously knew that he was like a criminal and that he was a known paedophile, but that's about as far as it went until you brought him up to me and then brought up the Netflix documentary, which we watched a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything about him. It was actually you that gave me most of the information on him.
Well, I'm like that. I'm a font of knowledge.
You're like, I have all the useless knowledge.
Yeah. You put me in a pub quiz too, mate. Unless it's about TV.
Yeah.
The TV round and the music round, because it's usually Bond stuff. I don't know that shit. But,
Yeah.
you know, you give me a...
I'm pretty good with the TV and the music stuff.
No, you don't watch like Homes Under the Hammer and shit like everyone else watches.
That's true. That is true. That's crap as well, to be fair.
Yes, that's why I don't watch it. But they always ask questions about crappy daytime TV, which, you know, I don't watch. So, we'll start with Jeffery. As you will all be aware, he allegedly committed suicide.
Apparently. Allegedly.
On 10th of August 2019.
The circumstances around his death were very sketchy, weren't they,
Yes.
really? Very sketchy.
But-
Even doctors thought it was sketchy.
Yeah, it is sketchy. I mean, the scale of what Jeffery and Ghisele got up to, I don't think we'll ever really know.
No. Just from the documentary we watched together, it was way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was like, I like the one scene, I think it's the detective says about it basically being the first sort of pyramid. What was it?
A pedo pyramid scheme. Paedophile pyramid scheme.
That's it, yeah. It literally was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was literally that. As horrible as it sounds, nothing had been done like that before to that scale.
No.
And it's like you said...
Not since probably the days of loot and pillage anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No sort of modern day sort of thing, that intricately woven for such a sort of nefarious thing.
Cobwebbing its way through the corridors of power.
Yeah, basically.
And, you know, if you're new to this, Epstein was a hedge fund broker. His job was to make rich people richer. He had over 500 million in the bank, probably more in assets, and rich enough to afford a private island and jet.
Yeah.
As well as townhouses in London, New York, Malibu, Miami, the house in Miami in particular was, well, we saw it on the documentary, it was
amazing,
you know.
What was the name of that jet again? It had a sketchy name,
it was referred to as the Lolita Express.
Yeah, that's a sketchy name.
Yeah. Now, I mean, that is apparently this private plane where they would go to the island. The locals referred to it as Pedo Island, so they knew what was going on there.
Yeah.
But Epstein, as much of an evil genius as he is, couldn't have really done this without Ghisele Maxwell, who was the female welcoming face of all this, and she would find the girls, and you know, she's a woman, they trust her, and just go and give Jeffery a massage. Wank him off.
She was, even though he was quite the genius, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
He literally came from nothing and ended up being one of the most wealthy men in America. So I'm not saying he's not a genius, but she was kind of the brains behind the operation in this sort of this scheme, this pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
She'd go out, she'd find the girls, she'd bring them back. She'd convince them this was the sort of right thing to do, or
pay them.
Yeah, it was normal, so to speak. That it wasn't sketchy. The fact that she was bringing these underage girls back, and they were, you know, coerced. Was the word coerced?
Coerced.
Yeah, that's it. Like you said, she was the sort of friendly face, the smile.
Yeah, she's the welcome committee.
Yeah, I remember we watched the documentary, and he said that she would often just like strip off and be like, "Now it's your turn, take your clothes off," so that the girl felt like it was normal.
Yeah.
Even though it obviously wasn't normal, and the girl would have clearly known that. But it was kind of like she felt like she had no choice because
of the implication.
Yeah, Ghisele, is it Ghisele?
Yeah.
Is that her name? She'd already done it, so it was like, well, I guess I have to do it now. She's telling me I've got to. Doesn't look like there's an easy exit.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just do it too.
They are paying me after
They
all.
are paying, yeah. So it was kind of like she felt she had no choice then, which is awful. But like you said, it was kind of that calm, sort of smiley face. Oh, it's fine, it's fine. Just Tell your friends it's fine. It's just $200 for a massage. Tell as many people, as many like young friends as you want.
Yeah. And this went on for quite a while until...
a long time.
He was first arrested in 2005, got a non-prosecution agreement in 2006, so he cut a deal. Had to go on the sex offenders register, but that was about it. Then in 2008, he come back to haunt him, got him again.
Yeah.
That was soliciting prostitution with a minor.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
And I don't mean like someone that goes in a coal mine.
Yeah.
A minor... As in a person
child.
who's too young to have sex.
Yeah.
Illegally too young to have sex.
Although that'd be still pretty awful for that miner, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, I'd imagine the coal miner wouldn't be too thrilled about it.
He's like, I just want to
Unless he swings that way.
He's like, I just want to get some coal, man. Leave me alone. I don't want your money.
I just came to deliver coal.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you a massage, Jeffrey.
Yeah, go away. What's wrong with you?
Oh, dear. If anyone does take offence to anything we say, we're not taking the piss out of the victims. We are firmly taking the piss out of Jeffrey and his Hugo, like, what the fucking, what was Dracula's assistant's name? Wasn't Hugo Frankenstein's assistant?
I don't know.
Either way, the little hunchback bloke who creeps about, that's like
Igor.
Igor. There we go.
That's it.
Yeah. So he does get sent down this time.
Yeah. Wasn't for long though, was it?
No.
Considering what he'd done.
2008, 18 months in an open prison, he served 13. And because remember that he is literally, making rich people money.
He's basically above the law.
Yes, he's allowed out of jail for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, to go and do his job.
Yeah.
To go and...
See, this is ridiculous because that's the one, isn't it, where they said about he solicited prostitution.
Yeah.
But none of these girls were prostitutes.
No.
They were just innocent girls that were from poorer backgrounds, or they'd been in previous abusive sort of lifestyles.
Yeah, well, this is it. I mean, you gotta know how to pick, haven't you?
Yeah, they were the down in their luck type of children, which is what they were. That he kind of seeked out because he knew that they didn't really have any support system that they could go to and be like, this is happening to me.
Well, yeah, the wealth class divide in America is massive. And I mean, if a guy like Jeffrey is being done for the... Oh, he's not really being done for it.
No, he's not. Well, that's the thing. None of them were prostitutes, and yet they're being labelled as... That was what a lot of them were so upset about on that Netflix drama.
Yeah.
Well, that documentary is they were like, we were being called prostitutes when we were just school kids.
Yeah.
None of them were, but they were being labelled that way because it was a way of getting his sort of sentence reduced.
That's it. So he just paid for it. So he wasn't actively doing anything.
Not
He was just paying these people.
Yeah.
Just so happened they were underage.
Not
kind
that he
of
was
thing.
a child molester or what he actually was.
Interesting point. Him and Donnie Trump, president, 45. They were very good mates.
Yeah, he's not the only sort of high A-lister that he was friends with. There's a few others, isn't there?
There's quite a few. But I'll just say that about Trump, interestingly in 2016, there was a Jane Doe, there was a case where the witness, the accuser stays anonymous.
Yeah.
They're referred to as John and Jane Doe.
Yeah, for their own safety, I guess.
Versus both Epstein and Trump.
See, that was
sexual misconduct and assault.
Yeah, that wasn't in the documentary.
No,
that was brushed under the sort of rug there.
No, I found that in a Guardian article.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
See, that wasn't in the media or anything, and what with everything going on right now with Epstein's girlfriend being arrested, you think that Trump's name would be brought up, but it's never brought up.
It's been brought up, it's been hinted at, there's photos of them together. She is a socialite.
Yeah.
Right? Before I do the listing, sorry, I'll just finish off the little thing I was on.
Yeah.
But the lawyer, the accuser, withdrew the allegations 6 days before the 2016 election, and her lawyer said that they had received threats, although obviously Trump's lawyers said that they'd done nothing.
Yeah.
I don't really want to believe a lawyer hired by Donald Trump.
So...
no, I mean, he's crooked. He's going to knock around with some crooked people.
Yeah. He's of the kind of money where if he wants to, he can make people disappear.
Yeah, and he has allegedly had mob connections when he had casinos in Vegas, and who built Vegas?
Yeah, the mob.
So, yeah, he's not a businessman no matter what he says, Trump. He's not a formal businessman. He's a back alley dealer.
He's a con man.
He's a con man. He's a confidence guy.
Yeah.
But... You know, he has been bankrupt a few times.
Yeah.
And he actually went bankrupt while owning casinos in Vegas. Now, you tell me who goes bankrupt owning a casino.
That's true.
Yeah, so anyway, Trump obviously has numerous allegations of sexual assault against him.
Yeah.
We won't go into those now, maybe at a future date. And of course his sort of language towards women, the whole grab 'em by the pussy.
Bit inappropriate. Yeah, not really work talk, is it?
No, and you can brush it off and say locker room talk, but
it's not really locker room talk.
It's not something I'd be saying, especially if I'm talking like as a matter of fact.
I bet Human Resources at the White House has a field day every day. They're like, oh no, it's the president again. We've got to call him in.
I doubt it.
But he's going to all those seminars. Look, it's inappropriate for you to be trying to touch women while they're at work, Mr. President.
You can't smack them on the ass anymore.
Yeah.
So let's go into a bit of Ghisele Maxwell.
Yeah.
Before we get onto the list of people that knew these guys and associated with them. She is a socialite. Yeah. She's the daughter of Robert Maxwell, who was a press tycoon in Britain. Again, he's dodgy as fuck.
Yeah, something sketchy. You were telling me something sketchy happened with him, didn't it?
Yeah, he basically defrauded the newspaper's pension fund.
Yeah.
Sort of managed to pocket the money and then kind of just fell off his boat and they never found the body. Strange that.
Made himself disappear.
Yeah.
Took all the money.
Yeah, or left it to her, or who knows, maybe he invested it with Jeffrey.
Yeah, he's not dead. Well, he wasn't dead. He disappeared with all the money.
Yeah, and we're talking sort of early 90s there, so remember that it was worth a lot more than...
Yeah. That's the thing, though. So many sort of wealthy people, they can make themselves disappear if they want to.
I'll guarantee you, people, if you're gonna pull a stunt like that,
yeah,
you've got a second passport with a different name on it.
Yeah,
you've got, you know, IDs, driving licenses. You know, they're all stashed away in a safe with probably a shit ton of ready cash and diamonds.
Yeah. A lot of rich people that have like any sort of criminal activity, they've got an out, haven't they, straight away.
Yeah, and Epstein was the same. He had an out. They found his safe. It was full of fake IDs, passports, diamonds, money.
Yeah. Stuff
you just grab until you could somehow manage to access your own bank accounts.
Yeah.
You know, you've got bank accounts in different names, in different countries.
Well, it's interesting actually that he was worth like, what was it, 500
over
million?
500 million, yeah.
And he was planning, if he was planning on suicide, you think about that for a couple of weeks at least, or at least a few days. Yeah, 2 days before he transfers all that money abroad and then he kills himself. Why would you need to? You're going to be gone anyway.
Yeah.
Why was he transfer? And all of it. Why all of it?
Exactly.
If you were if you were thinking these victims might get all my money, and if he's really awful and petty and he's like, I don't want them getting my money, I'll move it abroad so they can't have it. So he moves it abroad, but why all of it? Yeah. Why not keep some of it and be like, well, maybe one day I'll fight this and I'll get out. Maybe I need some. Maybe I'll need some to pay the lawyers. But he moved all of it. Yeah. And 2 days later he dies. Yes. In mysterious circumstances. It's almost like he had an out as well.
Well, he did. I don't, you know, I go for multiple theories on this. Anywhere from they hired a lookalike.
Yeah.
Said, oh, there's 20 million in your family's bank account. Is 20 million in your bank account and your family's bank account?
Yeah.
Go and be in for 10 years.
Yeah.
That's all he's got to do. 10 years, you know, it looks like. In the meantime, they get Jeff out, give him a bit of Botox, change his face, cut his hair, give him a pair of glasses. It's very easy to change your facial appearance.
Yeah.
And off he goes. Or I think that you add the likes of MI5 or 6, the CIA, whoever the Queen's hired privately, whoever Trump's hired privately, and then we just all turned up outside his cell at the same time and had to play rock, paper, scissors to see who got to go in there and do it.
Rid of him. Yeah, well, I like that first theory about the fact that he is just so wealthy that he could just make himself disappear.
Yeah.
I mean, they were called to his cell to investigate, and they saw that he'd hung himself, and then they rushed him to the hospital, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. But at any time, you could have, like you said, you could have switched out a body. Could have switched it out.
Cameras weren't on in the cell.
Yeah, you could have switched it out for something else, someone else, or you could have switched him out before and then killed the guy that looks like him.
That's it.
But there was the other theory where he said that someone could have murdered him. There was a doctor, wasn't there? Was it his brother? His brother got a doctor in to examine the body.
Someone he'd done other similar sort of high-profile cases.
Yeah.
And said, oh, well, this isn't a hanging, which is obviously what he'd hung himself.
Yeah.
No, this isn't a hanging. Either the bone at the front of the windpipe is broken.
Which is usually more of like strangulation.
That's a strangulation.
So like that's murder. Someone's gone in there and killed him. So whether or not that was Jeffrey,
that's it. Was it Jeffrey? Was it the lookalike?
Yeah,
possibility.
definitely.
I think that you've got to have an out if you're Epstein, and his missus, Ghisele, is still on the outside.
Yeah,
She can arrange this for him
yeah,
quite easily if
Easy.
she's that loyal to him.
yeah. They have the money, they have the resources.
Yeah. She was arrested recently, which is why we're doing this, because this whole saga is probably about to blow up again.
Yeah, we want to kind of get the jump on it and get our theories and thoughts out before it comes out.
She was arrested July 2nd this year, 2020, arrested by the FBI in Bradford, New Hampshire, charged with 6 federal crimes, including the transporting of minors, sex trafficking, and perjury.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
She was basically there for all of this. She knew
just
what
was
as
going
much
on.
involved as it. It makes you think actually that had that Netflix drama came out a couple months ago,
Something
weeks
like
ago.
that, yeah, a couple of months.
It makes you think she's been out for a while. And they haven't really. I mean, they've tried to go after her a little bit, but not to this extent.
I think she was just more in hiding. She literally vanished.
Yeah,
As soon as he killed himself, she just vanished.
Yeah, it's almost like this documentary's come out and they've been like, right, we really need to catch this woman. We need, because people have seen this and they're like, this is awful, this is horrible. How's the government let this guy get away with it for so long, and now he's dead, but there's still a woman out there that helped him, and she's got away with it.
And took part.
Yeah, and you see the victims and you see the kind of level of psychological trauma they've had, and you're like, why are they going to these sort of court hearings and they're telling their story, and nobody's done anything for years.
Yeah.
It's taken this long to sort that out. So like near the end of it, they were talking about how even though he was dead, they were still going to go just so they could tell their story.
Yeah.
That's how much trauma they went through, that they felt the world needed to hear it even after he was gone.
Well, that's it. And I mean, he's cheated justice, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Whether he was actually killed, he committed suicide, or he did one, he's cheated the system. He's cheated justice.
Yeah.
Now, there's lots of photos of Jeffrey and Ghisele out there mixing it up. They were socialites. They were wealthy. They were mixing. So, in fact, anyone who's anyone they mixed with.
Yeah.
But some interesting names do crop up. Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
We know about him.
Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
We know about him.
Yeah.
The Clintons.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Presumably more Bill, but who knows? Apparently Hillary does sacrifice children to Molech. I don't know. Or if you believe the tales of Pizzagate,
Yeah.
she was in on that.
Okay.
But Pizzagate is, well, it's not true.
Yeah. I don't know much on that.
Oh, right, well, that'll be a story one day.
You'll have to tell me about that and then we'll podcast that one.
Yeah.
See, I said podcast this time.
Yay!
I'm getting there every now and then.
The Trumps.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, Piers Morgan,
Okay.
Elon Musk,
Wow.
Naomi Campbell, Michael Caine, Princess Diana.
Yeah.
They met all these people. They socialised with them. They royalty,
Yeah.
heads of state, government politicians, presidents, prime ministers, and and a lot of them went on the Lolita Express to the island.
Yeah.
He had all this in a black book
Yeah.
that has not been released officially yet.
Okay.
And I am really hoping that it does not just accidentally
Disappear.
get shredded.
Yeah. So it's not to say that maybe all of these sort of famous, the rich, the elite are all...
Satanic paedophiles.
Yeah, it's not to say that all of them are, but any of them that are, he has sort of blackmail proof if he needed it.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why he had sort of so much power over the rich, and it wasn't just because he was rich himself, it was because he had that sort of leverage over these people, I'm guessing.
Yeah, of course. He's got video evidence because he videoed everything.
Yeah, he had video...
hidden in the clock faces.
Yeah, had him in the island, all over the island as well. Because there was a girl on the thing, and she was like, she tried to escape the island, and he found her within minutes.
Yeah.
Because there's just cameras everywhere, so he was watching everybody, and that
probably
makes,
getting off on it.
Yeah, and that makes you think, like, how much information does he have on these people? Like, if they were coming to his island, he would have recorded everything, I'd imagine.
And in his townhouse, and in his Miami Beach place, and every house he had, he would have had been recorded because it got him off to watch him doing it.
Yeah, And it would have been his way of potentially like using that evidence to get away with things, I would presume.
Yeah.
Because he was friends with a lot of like diplomats as well, wasn't he? Like politicians, but he was also friends with like lawyers.
Well, his lawyer Dershowitz.
Yeah.
Is like. He's probably been there.
One of the girls claimed that he had
sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
And to be honest,
he did seem very sketchy.
He did seem very sketchy.
In his
on the
interview,
details.
he seemed very sketchy.
And
with zero remorse.
Zero remorse.
When they were talking about it, he's like, it's my job to get people off if I think I need to get them off for the crime because I don't think they've committed it.
Yeah, but you know he's done it.
Yeah.
Everyone knew this was going on.
But his wording was so particular. It even sounded like even if he personally believes that they're guilty, he didn't word it that way, but you got that from the gist of where he was saying, it's my job to get them off regardless. And that rang true. It was just like these people were coming up with multiple amounts of evidence. He was just like, well, it's my job to prove them wrong. Yeah. And it's like, well, all the evidence is there. And it was just like, but it's my job to prove them wrong. And if I can, I will.
It's your job to cast reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
Because you have to prove they're guilty beyond reasonable doubt. If you create the doubt, you can't convict them.
Yeah, but this guy's like one of the best lawyers on the planet. So he could pretty much prove anything.
Yeah, and he's not the first time he's done this. He was OJ's defense lawyer, for God's sake.
That's what I mean.
You know, he gets people who are guilty off.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to manipulate an audience to his way of thinking.
Yeah.
So it was almost like using him is like it's rigged. It's a rigged game. He's gonna try and find a way to either get the person off, or at the very least limit their sentence, like with the whole soliciting prostitution. When it clearly wasn't that.
No, he liked young girls and he paid them to have sex with him. Yes, all right, he is making them prostitutes, but he's not soliciting them.
And a lot of the times in their interviews, they were scared and confused and didn't know whether or not they were going to be able to leave that building safely.
Yeah.
So some of these girls, yes, obviously some of them came back because they were poor and they needed the money and
they came from an abusive household where this was just normal to them.
Yeah. So there was obviously some reasons why they came back, but then some of them, it was just they did it once because they were so afraid they didn't think they'd be able to get out alive without it.
Yeah.
So they had to do it, and that's rape.
Of course.
For him to say soliciting prostitution is just ridiculous.
Fancy way of saying rape, isn't it?
Yeah, it was just his way of getting that sort of, down to a year from like a life sentence of what it should have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and she, like you say, she basically recruited the girls for him and her. Now, let's see, the Black Book.
Yeah.
Who went to the island?
Yeah.
Now this is, obviously, apparently Trump. I'm going to say allegedly before every single one of these, okay? Allegedly Trump.
Well, this is the thing, though. She's meant to be coming out with a few names within the next couple of weeks. Yeah. So it could very well be. I mean, we're going to try and guess now who we think it's going to be, but it could very well be some really high-named people like Trump.
They could be people we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Who run the banks, who are the real power behind governments.
Yeah.
It could be people like that we've never heard of. It could be people like that Dershowitz, who are lawyers that we wouldn't have heard of unless we were looking into this and watching the documentaries. But they're all very wealthy and very powerful.
Yeah.
They provide a security blanket, don't they, around you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, don't worry, we'll get you off with it.
Yeah.
We'll get you off, don't worry. Not a problem. But oh, by the way, I want $1 million a day. Yeah, done.
Done. That's nothing for him.
Nothing. So the Black Book. Bill Clinton. Bill's been linked to that plane a lot.
He has, yeah.
And he does have a history of sexual misconduct.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's had sex with younger girls, allegedly he's been there.
A lot of the girls were interviewed and none of them actually came out and said that they were assaulted by him in the documentary at the very least. Not all the victims obviously came, but none of them in the documentary said that. But like you said, he was on the plane a lot.
Yeah.
He was at the island. Was it the electrician?
Yes, yeah.
He actually said he saw him they were on like the porch or something, him and Jeffrey, and they were sat and they were talking.
But they do have Clintons do have a Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Could have been a business meeting. Oh, come out to my island for the weekend.
Yeah.
You don't know. That could be any of the same as Trump.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that because we're not defending Bill Clinton because we don't like Trump. It could be innocent reasons.
Yeah, but they both could have been there for sinister reasons as well. We're just going from both angles on this.
Yep. Tony Blair.
Wow.
Shady bastard that he is.
Yeah.
Fucking war criminal.
Yeah.
Henry Kissinger.
Wow.
Legendary US Secretary of State or legendary US diplomat.
Yeah.
But
he's someone you want to know if you're trying to get off for crimes like that.
yeah, he's still alive, you know. He's like in his
Really?
90s, yeah.
Jeez.
Rupert Murdoch, the fucking the corpse master himself.
This is the thing, though. He's got such powerful friends in so many
Yeah.
different sectors of the world.
Well, yeah, you've just gone, all right, there's politics, business, more politics, politics and international relations, the media,
Did you say like legal as well?
legal,
Yeah.
and then you've got Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Well, there you
Could
go.
probably believe that one.
Yeah. Bill definitely went to that island. Jeez.
John Kerry, former US, I think he still is a US politician. He's a Democrat,
Yeah.
ran for president, didn't make it.
Yeah.
And my personal favourite.
Yeah. This one's. Wow. You showed me the interview of this. Jeez. This is the one I think.
HRH, the Duke of York, Prince Andrew.
Yeah. Wow. The interview on this.
Now, go and check out the interview. There's a best of clip with best or worst of.
We might
should I
have
say.
to post this when we post the podcast.
Yeah, he did an interview with the BBC in an attempt to come out and clear his name.
And it was just.
Boy.
A massive. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Dumpster fire, I guess.
Train crash.
Train crash, yeah, train wreck.
Train crashing into a dumpster full of shit that's on fire.
Yeah.
And then having that flaming shit-covered train carry on down the tracks and crash into Buckingham Palace.
Yeah, it was watching it, he just looks so guilty. He doesn't even say anything, he just looks guilty. He's like, his facial expressions, his eyes are all over the place, he's blinking sporadically. It's like everything that comes out of his mouth just sounds like a lie.
Or like, one of my favourite line is like, well, you knew he was a convicted sex offender, Your Highness.
Your Highness.
Your Highness. Why were you staying with him in New York?
And he was just like, it was just somewhere to stay.
It was somewhere to stay. And I wanted to break off the friendship, and I felt that doing it over the phone was a coward's way out. So
he had to be honourable.
I'm too honourable for my own good. It's like, mate, you've been banging underage girls.
Yeah.
There's nothing honourable about you.
No.
Yeah, the girl's name who accused Andrew that was solicited for him by Ghisele Maxwell is named Virginia Guffrey.
Yeah.
I'm reading my notes and laughing. Sorry.
When we watched her, cause she was interviewed on the Netflix, and
Yes.
I remember watching, because they do a snippet of his interview and then they do a full interview of her, and you've obviously shown me his full interview now, which is, like you said, it's insane. But when you watch her, you can see that there's no you don't sense any lying.
No.
She's telling the truth. She's looking dead at the camera.
She's holding up a photo.
Yeah, she's holding up a photo with evidence, eyes straight at the camera. You can tell she's telling the truth. There's no lies anywhere. He looks nervous. He's looking around the room. His eyes are blinking like mad. He's stuttering really badly.
Yeah.
He stuttered like mad in that interview. And I know, obviously, you'd be nervous if you'd been accused of something like that. But the words he was saying and the lies that he were coming out, he claimed he doesn't sweat.
Yeah, because of from when he was Prince Andrew was a pilot, a helicopter pilot in the 1982 Falklands War.
Yeah.
And he did see combat. He wasn't a gunship pilot. He was flying a troop transport Wessex helicopter. I'd imagine they didn't give him the most dangerous missions.
No,
but he's still flying into a war zone.
Yeah.
So, but he said he was shot at, and that gave him a type of PTSD, because of the adrenaline surge in his body.
It was an adrenaline overdose.
Adrenaline overdose in his body.
Which would have probably killed him. It would have made his heart explode if that was true.
Or he'd have just been like jumping out the helicopter, running faster than it.
Well, that's what they give people that have had a heart attack and their heart stopped. You give them an adrenaline shot. So
yeah, you can do. Yeah.
If he had an adrenaline overdose, his heart would have exploded because it would have still been beating. It wouldn't have magically made him stop sweating.
No, you can't sweat anymore.
No, he would sweat more.
You think that?
When you're nervous, your adrenal glands start going. You start sweating really bad.
Yeah.
He'd sweat more, not less. And he's like, I didn't sweat back then, but it's fine now. I sweat now. So
even though there's photos of him at night, because he was trying to make out, because he's known as the party prince in the UK.
Oh, he doesn't drink though.
He doesn't drink. He doesn't party, even though there's numerous photos of him at parties.
He claims he doesn't drink.
Doesn't drink. Didn't even know where the bar was in the nightclub.
Yeah.
Whenever he's been there, he's never bought a drink.
Yeah.
All right. The night in question.
What would have been
when-
brilliant is if they said, "How did you know there was a bar there?"
Yeah.
Just to see him lose his mind.
Well, it's a nightclub. Oh, no, you don't go to the bar in there.
No, they just bring the drinks out of nowhere.
It's magic.
It's magic, like your sweat glands.
Yes, I had my sweat glands removed.
Yeah. His lies are. Sorry, carry on. He's just mocking his lies.
Now, Virginia Guthrie, obviously has a photo and the date, because I mean she's meeting a prince.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't think at this point she's been told she got to fuck him.
Yeah.
But, hey, she's been partying with a legitimate prince.
Well, let's get this right. She didn't fuck him. She was raped by
Yeah.
him. This guy is like a piece of dirt. But obviously, like you said, she wanted to, before this happened, she wanted to take a photo of it, I guess, or somebody wanted to take a photo of it. Probably, maybe her, because she was like, "Wow, I'm meeting the prince." And the photo is literally right in front of her bedroom, so she obviously had no idea what was about to happen. But I think it's safe to assume that once that photo happened, she was forced by Jeffrey and everyone else.
Ghisele mainly, I think.
Yeah.
She was solicited for Prince Andrew. Allegedly, she was forced to have sex with him 2 or 3 times, twice, I think.
Yeah, some sort of discussion. She was always the one that was convincing them, wasn't it? So it was some sort of discussion of, we're trying to impress the prince, go in his bedroom with him, he's staying in there, and she's obviously at this point being controlled and manipulated by them so bad she doesn't see any other choice, so she's just going along with it at this point.
It's what they're giving her. I mean, this is like the seedy side to her life at this point.
Yeah.
But they're going to say to her, they're going to just, we're flying you from New York to London. You're living the high life. You're meeting royalty. Who are you?
Yeah.
You're nobody. We're going to get you on in the world. Your sister can go to college.
That was the thing, wasn't it? They were promising them the world. They were like, stick with us. They were almost having to deal with this sort of abuse, which is actually, it's not sort of, it is abuse. They were dealing with it, and some of these girls were sticking with it because of the promises of being taken out of a not so great life from maybe abuse or anything that they've had in their past. And they were being promised the world. You would have this massive career. We'll send your sister off, and she'll have a career as well.
Yeah, she can go to college. She'd never gone to college.
Travel and see the world, because they sent her sister to a college abroad, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
I mean, and they're flying around. They're traveling with them.
Yeah.
They're meeting these people.
I was going to say, one of these girls pretty much said she was almost in some sort of weird relationship with the two of them.
Yeah.
But it's almost like she went along with it because she didn't see any other choice. She had to, because they made her feel like she had to. Jeffrey and what's her name again?
Ghisele.
I'm going to learn the name by the end of it. They were basically saying to them, "You're so lucky."
Yeah, to know us.
And they were saying it so often, and they were brainwashing these girls into believing it. And some of them were like, "Okay then," and they were just going along with it because they just felt like it was the only way they were going to be safe. It was the only way their life would get better, because they were attacking the most vulnerable.
Yeah, and that sadly is how it works.
Yeah.
My favourite, Prince Andrew.
Yeah, back to the Prince Andrew. His defence is.
Yeah. My favourite defence of all time is that he was at a pizza. He'd just taken his daughter Beatrice, Princess Beatrice. Although whether she'll want to be associated too much with him now is
that's true.
Different story. He was at a birthday party for her friends at a Pizza Express in Woking. I've never been to Woking. I can't comment on Woking. Pizza Express ain't great though.
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that where is he? 4th in line to the throne, maybe at this point, 5th maybe. He's still one of the Queen's sons. He's a knight. He's a duke.
Yeah.
He's knocking around in a Pizza Express in Woking.
Well, that was his defence, wasn't it?
I know, but it doesn't sound very convincing to me.
They said
imagine a security operation.
I know, it would have been ridiculous. People would have remembered. More people would have come forward by now.
The reviews for that Pizza Express were hilarious. Because loads of people started mock reviewing it, giving it 5 stars, saying, "Yes, I remember I was there. Hot as hell it was. But there's this prince stood there, cold running through his veins, never sweat once. Everyone else's sweat was pouring on.
He was just standing by all the ovens, and not a single drop of sweat.
That icy veined prince amongst men."
But this is the thing. His defence was, because the interviewer said, "How would you remember that day? It was just a random day for you. How would you remember that you were at a pizza place?" And he was like, "Because I don't go very often, and that's how I remembered it, because it was unlike me."
Yeah.
But that's not a defence, because he didn't have anyone to back up his story.
Where's the CCTV footage?
Yeah. Where is his daughter going? Yeah, actually, Dad, I remember that. Did
She hasn't come out and said
No.
nothing. She has said nothing.
No.
Whether they were
Or
not,
even a single member of staff. Oh, I remember serving him. I remember
him. He was
there.
stood right by the counter. The oven's in the back. Not a bead of sweat on him.
Or
dude.
alternatively, they were like, "Oh yeah, that's bullshit," because he was like sweating profusely by the ovens, grabbed a slice and ran out like he was going somewhere real quick.
Yeah.
He's like, "I just need to hang out for 5 minutes here, and then I'm off clubbing."
But I don't like to party.
No, he doesn't like to party.
No. So the question is now, what happens next?
I don't know. This
is the last segment of the show now.
Yeah.
What is going to happen next? She's in custody.
Yeah.
There's been a rumour she had COVID, which we couldn't find anything about.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to conveniently blame the Rona for her death.
Yeah.
I've started calling it the Rona now.
The Rona.
Yeah.
Only the cool people call it the Rona.
Exactly, and I am pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is that going to get her? Are they going to make the same mistake as Jeffrey and have a nap on the night in question when a bunch of assassins rock up?
I think, yeah, you can't really, if she's going to disappear, air quotes, if she's going to disappear, it can't be the same way, can it?
No.
So it's either going to be, right now with everything going on in the pandemic, that's a perfect excuse, isn't it? Oh, she's not been very well, she's not...
Yeah.
She's in a cell right now, because I'm guessing she's in custody right now.
Yeah, she's in the same prison as Epstein was in.
Yeah, so this is pretty sketchy, isn't it? She's in the same place. It's almost like they know they can get to her there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
The
yeah.
guards are low paid and not the best, apparently.
Yeah. So she's either going to get sick, isn't she, over the next couple of weeks, or there's going to be a prison riot, and conveniently she's going to get stabbed or something, and then her cellmates or someone nearby's family members who's in one of the cells is going to, their family's going to get a load of money.
Yeah.
Conveniently. As they assassinate her for money.
And without just saying this for comedic effect, she has said basically, yes, I'm going to testify for time off my sentence. She's going to cut a deal.
Yeah.
And use what she knows to grass these people up. And it should really, in theory, this should fracture our system.
It should, yeah. But this is the thing, though. It's ridiculous that she thinks she's going to get away with this with these such powerful people that, in my opinion, I think your opinion, make Jeffrey disappear.
Yeah.
Will have the power to make sure that this list never comes to light.
That's it.
Because if it does, it will fracture the system, because it'll be people in power in America, potentially England, potentially worldwide. Yeah.
Could be people in the UN.
Yeah.
Could be heads of the banking systems.
And it makes you think, if she's got dirt on them to sort of, as part of this sex ring, this paedophile cult, we'll call it, if she's got info on that, what other info does she have?
Yeah.
Because people share things when they spend a lot of time together. And
Absolutely.
if they were having these high society people in their sort of townhouses and on their island, what information were they collecting? How much information does she have? Now, you're going to want that to disappear. If you're one of these people, you're going to want that to disappear.
I'll guarantee you that Epstein ended up at Bohemian Grove on the camps.
Yeah.
That's where they do the secret ceremonies and burn a massive owl. Burn a statue of a man in front of an even bigger statue of a fuck off owl god.
Yeah.
You know, while the recorded air quote screams.
Yeah.
Are being broadcast and they're all chanting.
Yeah.
Right, it's some dodgy shit. Watch the video. Sadly, it's Alex Jones who snuck in.
Oh, okay.
But this is back in the day before he was full on crazy and just, let's say, not a conspiracy theorist, but someone who was lent that way.
Yeah.
Still crazy, but and a bit more of a reporter.
Yeah.
Back then, let's say. He snuck in with John Ronson from Channel 4.
Yeah.
And John Ronson filmed it, and so did Alex.
It's strange, isn't it, how these rich and powerful people always seem to lean to these sort of cult ideals, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like, you never see it in sort of on TV or anything, that there's anything like that. But there's always rumours that, oh, this famous person's in a cult, this famous person's in a cult. And it's crazy. It's like you see these celebrities as well, and you're like, oh, they're just normal. I mean, we had this discussion the other day, like Jared Leto from 30 Seconds to Mars, who's also an actor now, and...
Worst Joker Ever.
But
No.
there's rumours going around now that he's got a cult and he's got an island called Mars Island.
What is it with him and Mars?
He obviously likes Mars. But obviously I'm not saying he does any of this sort of stuff Epstein did. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, why do these famous or rich people start or are members of cults?
Well, my thing is with certainly the political side of things. So let's say that I get into politics.
Yeah.
Right? And I get to a certain level in government, I get into the Houses of Parliament, and then I get invited by some well-to-do. We see great things in you, young Carter.
Yeah.
Come to this address we meet some of these people. They'll fund you to the top.
Sound like a James Bond hero. Come with us, Mr. Carter.
Well, that's because I am.
And you're gonna take them down from the inside.
Let me finish my story. Let me finish my scenario.
Does it end with you taking them down?
Let me finish the scenario.
Go on then.
It's like you were going to watch a film. What happens now?
What
Who's
happens
this?
now?
What's he doing?
Get
Shut
to the
up
end.
and watch the fucking movie.
Get to the end. It's because I'm a millennial.
Yeah, no attention span.
I'll just Google the ending.
You can't Google the ending. It's in my head.
I could try.
Anyway, so I go to this place, this house, big townhouse in London. Some dude in a red hooded robe answers the door. I'm like, well, this is pretty fucking metal.
It's always red or black.
Yeah.
Isn't it, the robe? They never go with pink.
It's not Satan-y enough. But they should do, just to throw people off.
Yeah, I'd love to do
Like
that.
a pink Hello Kitty rose.
Yeah, open the door and just be really serious. Come on in.
Welcome to our sanctum.
To the kitty cult.
So, and I'm like, whoa, what the fuck's this? This is pretty fucking metal, but,
Yeah.
So I go in, and then, they're like, oh, just come into here and you can meet, I don't know, the fucking Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yeah.
And I walk in and he's fucking a boy.
Yeah.
Right?
This got dark really quick, by the way.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I've seen that now.
I'm not sure if I want to see this movie anymore, to be fair.
Well, hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? And they're like, right, you want to get up to the echelons, the high echelons, you've got to join this club.
Yeah.
You've got to do this. Because then you can't break ranks.
Yeah.
They've got that on you forever.
It's almost like you're
And
kind
you
of
can't-
forced into it.
You can't grass them up
Yeah.
because they'll grass you up.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So it's almost
It's like a circle of protection almost.
It's almost like they're forcing people into it, sort of thing.
If you turn it down,
They
your career will just go nosedive.
Yeah, or
They'll
find
find
out
something out about
dirt
your
on
past.
you. Yeah.
They'll make it up.
Yeah.
They'll run it. Your career's over.
They'll find drugs in your car that shouldn't be there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my theory on that. Now, in this scenario, I say, not today, motherfucker. Pull out a silenced pistol, double tap the robe dude in the head,
Yeah.
shoot the Chancellor of the Exchequer, grab the kid, and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the while I'm recording it with a little camera on my tie.
Yeah. So you look like a hero.
Yeah.
I like the end of that story.
Yeah.
Makes you sound pretty badass.
Yeah, then I jump in my Jaguar and hightail it through the streets of London while being chased by, like, cult dudes in big monster trucks.
Do you do like a spin with a car?
Of
take out
course.
all their cars?
No, I do a spin with the
Shoot
car.
and spray.
No, I do a spin with the car, come at them head on.
Yeah.
Oh, here, little Timmy, take this gun. Shoot at the window. I don't aim at the truck. And we both lean in and I'm firing away, and we kill the drivers, and it's a happy ending.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's an explosion. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I
I
kind of.
mixed my theory in with a story that got out of hand.
The story was cool, but I saw where you were going with it. It's almost like a lot of these people are corrupt, but it's almost like if you're not corrupt, you have to be corrupt, or they'll
Exactly.
force you to be corrupt.
Yeah. And I mean, there's, rumours.
It makes you think how far some of these things go. Like, you can't help but think of the, obviously I won't go too much into it because I'm sure we'll do a podcast on it, but how far it goes, the kind of theory of the Illuminati, sort of this upper echelon of super rich and powerful people worldwide that actually make all the decisions for the entire earth. And all these politicians and world leaders actually don't have a say. They're just made to look it. So every now and again they're like, Russia, be a bit tense with America. Just so it keeps the masses distracted for a while so we can do this behind their back.
Yeah. In fact, all systems are exactly the same.
Yeah.
No matter what, if you say, that's communism, that's fascism, that's capitalism.
But they're all controlled by
They're all controlled by the same people.
Yeah, this sort
with
of
the same goal of making as much money as possible.
Yeah. This sort of Hydra head of the sort of
Yes.
world.
Exactly. Hydra is the best way to look at it. And it's just like, well, you think, oh, fucking hell. Does it go that high?
Yeah.
Are they into some weird ancient worship of gods that involves them to fuck kids? Because a lot of them seem to like having sex with kids.
It's hard not to think that way, because when you think about all these people and all these names he might have, they're all connected to other people that can do it. And you're like, how many connections
That's it.
are there?
Was Jimmy Savile involved?
Yeah. How high does it go? Yeah, because a few years ago, there was all that with the BBC where, like, loads of people, they're like 60, 70, 80, they've been getting away with it for like 30, 40 years, like Jimmy Savile, who a lot of them were either dead or dying or old.
Yeah.
And they're now only just being caught for like 30, 40 years worth of abuse.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just one or two, it was almost all of them.
In Jimmy's case, I think it's in the hundreds. I can't remember. I did the podcast on Jimmy, our Christmas special, the Jimmy Savile Christmas special.
Jeez, why would you pick that?
We always do a dark Christmas.
Do you?
Yeah, we always pick something. Last Christmas was Christmas with Fred and Rose West.
Can't do a cheerful Christmas?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, well, is that what I've got to look forward to?
I don't know, going to break the mould.
Gonna ruin the Christmas, be like, right, that's it, we've got to do something really depressing now.
Yeah.
Dark
Christmas.
As long as we can have a rum ham, that's fine.
We're having a rum ham this Christmas.
Yeah, we've got to make a rum ham.
Yeah, that's a definite.
It's the only way I'm going to get through Christmas.
I hate Christmas.
Severely drunk, yeah, so do I. Severely drunk.
This stuff goes, I think it goes to the top. Whether or not there's an Illuminati, I think
There's
if anything...
if there isn't one big head, there's a lot of cults.
I
Worldwide, there's a lot of higher powers.
I think it's the banking cult.
Yeah.
I think if you're head of a major bank and countries are storing their money with you, and then you're investing, gambling, losing it, making it back, making them more. Countries aren't countries anymore, they're companies. It's like Great Britain PLC.
Yeah.
We have investments.
Well, it's like that one banker, I forget his name. That's the thing about him, is he controls like most of the world banks.
Oh, Rothschild.
Yeah. And if you grabbed a bunch of people off the street and you asked them if they knew him, no one would know.
Yeah, who are the
name.
Rothschilds?
Yeah.
No idea.
No one would know who they are. And yet the amount of power they have worldwide is phenomenal. The amount of money they have is incredible. And they don't make it onto any of these sort of Forbes magazines of richest man on the planet or anything like that.
They're in the shadows pulling the strings.
Yeah. Why don't they make it onto these magazines of richest businessman of this year? They never do.
Yeah.
They're in the, but everyone can Google them and find them and see how rich they are, but they never make it onto any of these magazines. They own a ton of banks worldwide.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing to think that someone as powerful, or a family as powerful as them, can go hidden in the background.
The Rothschilds have been around since the 1600s.
Yeah, and it makes you think, if someone that powerful and rich worldwide and can have that much pull with that many countries, why has nobody heard of them?
Yeah.
How are they that powerful that nobody knows about them and that they can make themselves disappear?
Yeah, I can give you a stat. Basically, they played both sides during the Napoleonic Wars.
Yeah.
Because that's what everybody does, and if you're a businessman in a war, you play both sides.
You profit from the war.
Now, Britain was very rich country.
Yeah.
But even so, we were keeping Spain, Portugal, Russia, Prussia, and Austria in the war against Napoleon.
Yeah.
And remember, we were using guineas or golden pounds at this point. It was gold.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was something like 100 million a week Britain was paying to keep those armies in the fight against Napoleon.
Yeah.
Where were they getting their money from? Rothschilds and the Empire, of course.
Yeah.
But they're loaning money, and of course they know they're going to get it back.
Yeah.
Might take 100 years, but it's not about what you get back in your lifetime. It's about the good of the company. Building.
Yeah.
You know, if the King of England comes to you and says, "Look, I need $100 billion loan," well, all right, but maybe you're going to do some stuff for me.
It's like they were building an empire.
Basically, yeah, it is an empire. It's an invisible empire.
Yeah.
And that's what Jeffrey here and Ghisele were in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, though. Jeffrey...
But where is he on the paedophile pyramid? Where is he on it? Is he at the top?
Well, we're led to believe he's at the top.
Yes.
But is he, though? Is he, or was he just the fall guy? This is the thing. This list might come out, and we might find he's just one of many heads.
Yeah.
And that he's not actually at the top. We're led to believe that this is one isolated incident of just him and a few friends. A
lot of friends.
Yeah, but it could be so much more. And there could be so many more heads, and there could be someone above him that's pulling all the strings. And the crazy thing about him is he came from nothing.
He's a con man.
He's a con man. He's, as awful as it is, he is a genius.
Yeah, an evil genius.
Yeah, he's like, what, middle class?
Yeah,
his
born to a
parents-
Jewish family in, I think it's New York.
Yeah, his parents did normal jobs. Like,
Yeah. Lied his way into a teaching job because he'd never been to college.
Yeah. No,
Then-
he did. He went to.
Oh, he went to college, he didn't graduate,
yeah,
did he?
he dropped out.
Went,
But then he got a teaching job somehow.
yeah. And then he ended up working at Bear Stearns, the corporate bankers,
Yeah.
where he did very well.
He
Got to be partner.
Actually
and-
worked with some of their highest paying people, I think.
Yes, and then was a bit naughty with some of the money.
Yeah.
Got fired, started his own company, took the customers with him.
Yeah.
Why would the customers go with him? Maybe he was providing them with children as well as money.
Extra services. That's the sketchy sort of probability. He was probably doing that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was only working with billionaires and millionaires.
This is it. And his job is, as horrible as it is to make the rich richer.
And also entertain the rich while he works with them.
Yes.
So
and,
he'd
you know,
take them to his island, or he'd take them to his townhouse, and he'd find ways to entertain them.
Yeah. Maybe you're gonna pay for my jet this month if I make you some money illegally.
Yeah.
Because it's all shady as fuck.
Yeah, very.
All the financial regulations. I mean, but no one ever looks at them because my God, they're dull.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a fucking genius level IQ just to sit down and understand what the hell they are.
But the crazy thing is, with all this that went on, and it went on for a long time. If we're going back, what was it, 2005?
First arrested 2005, so who knows how long it had been going on before that?
Yeah, so this is probably 20 years plus he's probably been doing this for.
Yeah.
And 15 years that the law have known about it, so to speak. And in the past 5-10 years, there's been a lot of stuff going on in the law, media, and all of these big names being thrown out, and no one's been investigated.
No.
Prince Andrew was the only one that had that sort of interview, which was a train wreck.
Well, apparently he decided to do that himself.
Yeah, which he shouldn't have done, really,
No.
should he? I mean, it was great for the sort of people viewing it, because now we know 100% undoubtedly that he did it.
He did something dodgy.
Yeah, he did something, but from a PR standpoint, whoever advised him was awful. He shouldn't have done it, because now everyone knows he did it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's like, why aren't these people being investigated? And even now, it's like, that interview was a train wreck. Anyone knows that sees it. Even the interviewer, you could tell she's struggling not to laugh at him.
Why did you stay at a convicted paedophile's house?
Yeah.
Oh, it was somewhere convenient. You're a member of the royal family.
Yeah, what are you doing? He's just like, oh, that wasn't probably the best decision of my life. It's like, no, we need more than that,
Yeah,
Andrew.
you could have. You're carrying around a governmental credit card.
Yeah.
You know, the royal family's black platinum fucking visa. You
Yeah.
can stay anywhere.
There's a difference, isn't there? Like Prince Harry, he was a wild card.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between being
Wild card, bitches!
There's a difference between being a wild card, not doing what the royal family says, partying a little too hard, and doing what the hell that guy did, Andrew.
Yeah.
There's a big difference. And him saying, oh, that was a bit reckless of me to spend time in a... The guy had been convicted.
Yeah.
You don't even need to call him to say maybe our friendship's over. Just don't call him.
Yeah. If he calls you, don't pick up.
Don't pick up. And be like, my secretary will answer this call. Get my secretary to answer it, and the secretary goes, you know what? Maybe don't call here, because we don't need the prince knowing you or being associated with you, seeing as you're a convicted paedophile.
Yeah.
Don't call here again.
And then of course he would go, you know I've got all the videos, don't you, Andy?
Yeah, and then he'd answer the phone.
Yeah.
You would though, wouldn't you? Just say, right, I'll just tell my secretary to answer all my calls for the next couple of months because I've been accused of something that I haven't done, if that's the way he's playing it. And then she or he answers the phone and goes, he's not picking up, don't call again.
Yeah.
And that'd be it.
Yeah.
Don't go, you know what, mate? I need to hang out for a couple of days and I need to tell you a few things. I'll be there on the weekend.
Yeah.
Spend 4 days there.
Yeah.
Why did it take 4 days to break a friendship?
It was the dinner for his release from prison as well. That was the worst.
Yeah,
to me.
they were having a party.
So you know he's been to prison.
A 4-day party.
A 4-day party.
It took 4 days for him to say, oh, no, we're not friends anymore. And yeah, apparently he'd had a phone call conversation, hadn't he?
Mm.
And he couldn't even remember the date of it. He was just like, yeah, we talked.
It was spring or summer.
Yeah.
Was it July? No, it was before that. It
And
was
then
spring.
he had to ask the interviewer when Jeffrey went to jail,
Yeah.
so he could say it was before that.
Yeah.
He didn't even know the date.
It's hilarious in a way.
It's insane.
It's tragic in another.
Definitely watch that video if you love the royal family and you don't want to believe that any member of the royal family could do that. Watch that video. Make up your own mind on it, but in our opinion, he's definitely guilty.
Yeah.
That is the body language of a guilty man.
Oh yeah.
That is the words of a guilty man.
And the absolute shit show of answers that he gave.
Yeah.
You're like, really? Because if I was doing this, you'd have crucified me by now.
The thing is, when you watch the beginning, I mean, clearly Jeffrey did everything he did, but he was a very clever man, and any time he knew that the question was loaded, or if he knew he was going to incriminate himself, he just said no comment.
Yeah, or plead the fifth.
Yeah, why didn't Prince Andrew say no comment?
We can't plead the fifth.
Yeah, but he can say no comment.
Yeah. But over here, in a BBC interview that you've arranged, he can't just say no comment.
He just bumbled the whole way.
He just bumbled through it.
He was like,
Because one thing modern politics has taught me, in the like terms of Trump and Boris, is that bullshit baffles brains.
Yeah.
If you just blow out enough crap,
Yeah.
people either lose interest because they're all millennials like you and have a tiny attention span, or bloody millennials, or they'll just switch off and believe it.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's
Well, that seems to be the thing with Boris and
Trump.
Trump. They just
You
keep going and keep going.
repeat something often enough, it becomes a lie. Repeat a
Becomes
lie often
true
enough.
to them.
Sorry, yeah. Repeat a lie often enough, and it becomes the truth.
Truth, yeah.
And Churchill once said that the lie goes twice around the world before the truth has chance to put its pants on.
Jeez.
And that's absolutely true.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
I think that's really a good place to end it.
Yeah. I think we covered everything, didn't we?
Yeah. Epstein didn't kill himself. Let's just go back to that.
Yeah. Just
I remember that day with great fondness, not
because of all the memes.
No,
they were
well,
out within like an hour. It's like the meme. He made the meme before he even escaped, didn't he? I didn't kill myself.
Not because I revel in anybody's death.
No.
Mainly because it was the day when millennial, zennial, Generation Xers, boomers all came together on the internet
With the agreement.
And said, what a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
You were shitting me.
Those memes came in waves, didn't they? They were like, he definitely didn't kill himself.
It was the one day when the internet stood up in one voice and said, we will not believe that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we've had that kind of agreement on the internet
I don't
before.
think so. No. I spent a lot of time reading Twitter and things like that on
There's
the day
never
of it.
been that much agreement.
I don't think I ever saw anyone saying, well, that's not dodgy, is it?
Yeah. The fact that he moved his money 2 days before is not the sign of a guy that's going to kill himself and doesn't care about his worldly possessions anymore.
This is true.
So I think we're both in agreement that either he was murdered by, let's say, a higher power,
I go for both equally.
or he made himself disappear.
Yeah, I genuinely, I don't think it will be hard for a man of his means to get out of that situation.
No, he's shifted his money. It's easier to access abroad.
Yeah?
It's interesting, actually. We should have researched. Was his account did somebody take money from his account, or has it just stayed there?
I think it was taken out. I'll have to have a look at that.
Yeah.
Give an update.
That'll be worth finding out the information on. If the account's just sitting there with all the money in it, or
No, I'd imagine it would have gone to Ghisele.
Yeah.
I think it did, which is why it was probably transferred to the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, that could be where he is now.
Yeah.
He could be on Cuba with Tupac and Elvis, for all we know.
He's not going to go to his island because Netflix has been there because it was in the show. So unless he's just hiding in the closet like, shit, I hope they don't find me. So he doesn't want to be going there. He's going to be somewhere where he can probably keep getting away with his crimes, isn't he? So he's going to go to somewhere like Thailand or something.
Virgin Islands.
Yeah, a lot of his sort of
somewhere quiet where there's not many people. Where if you got a lot of money, they leave you alone. The government leaves you alone.
Where those sort of
where you can bribe the police to look the other way.
Those criminal acts are quite well known in those countries, and you can get away with it quite easily.
It's sad. It's a sad world.
Yep.
And a lot of children go missing every year, and they're usually sold into this kind of thing.
Yeah, it's crazy that it's 2020 and we still live in a world where the young are exploited in that way.
Yeah,
it's insane.
You can look at Libya. They have nowadays. It used to be one of the most prosperous North African states, Libya.
Yeah.
Everything was tickety boo. All right, it had a dictator, but it had a high standard of living. It was quite a wealthy country.
Yeah.
They had oil reserves, great tourism. the West went in, bombed the shit out of it. Now you've got slave markets in the street.
Jeez.
We bombed the shit out of it and took Gaddafi out for some reason. I forget. Oh yeah, on the down low because he was going to start selling his money, his oil, in a distinctly African currency, and I can't remember what it's called. Might be like the dinar or the dinari.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember. And of course, that then kills the US economy because Libya and North Africa have massive oil reserves.
Yeah.
And if someone stops selling oil in dollars, fucks the US economy.
Yeah.
So what better way?
You
Go in and take him out.
It's got to be in dollars, hasn't it?
Yeah. Do you even remember why we went into Libya? Because I don't.
No.
No idea. Something to do with Gaddafi.
It's the same reason for a lot of wars, though, isn't it? It's all oil, and then it's just like Iraq was all oil. It was just an excuse to go there.
Yeah. Never did find them WMDs, did they?
No, because they wouldn't, because it was all about oil.
And of course, Blair hasn't been done for war crimes.
No.
Bush hasn't been done for war crimes.
Definitely worth doing a podcast on all those war crimes.
Yeah, you want to have some bad dreams? Take a look at Iraqi kids who are near the Iraqi children who are near tanks firing depleted uranium shells and the birth defects they cause.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Mad.
I've held one of those to my crotch. Genuinely, I've used a depleted uranium shell on the range.
So yeah, anyone who wants to have children with Ben, just be aware that they might come out defected.
So, hey, Mr. Tank Shell Crotch. It's a joke. Look at my penis. Tank Shell Dick. But, yeah.
It's not as impressive as it sounds if they come out mutated, though.
No, not like start giving birth to a race of Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not unless they look like Leela from Futurama.
Then again, that's no good to me.
No, not to you.
No. Don't think you're going to have sex with my one-eyed daughter.
But yeah, anyway.
I think that's a good place to end
To
it.
get back to Jeffrey Epstein, definitely didn't kill himself.
I don't think he killed himself. Let us know what you think, but I guarantee you probably think the same as us.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Don't drink the Flavour Aid.
Oh, don't forget to plug your other stuff.
Don't join a cult. Check out on the Apocalypse Network, Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. More shows to be added eventually, possibly, when we can get the time and the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks. I've been Shawn, and I still haven't thought of one yet, but I'm working on it.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Slowly.
No, you're not.